prefer printing?
Yeah, let me see. I think I know everything else is such a print queue. There's a lot of stuff waiting to be printed.
I'm just gonna add one sentence. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. Let's just be more responsible. Okay, too much. Over 3 minutes already.
Why are you offline?
I saved it. Save it.
Okay.
Print two,
Okay.
and one you just give somebody. Did we give it to Sarge? No.
Uh, yeah. Just let me try to find out first why this is. Troubleshoot.
We are now online, right, Del? Okay. Welcome to this meeting of the Health and Welfare Committee for the Saipan and Northern Islands Legislative Delegation. Today is October 5th, 2022. The time is now 10:09 a.m. And my name is Christina Sablan. I am the chair of this SNILD Health and Welfare Committee. Present today are the members, Representative Staffler, Senator Edith De Leon Guerrero, and with 3 members present, we now have a quorum, and I will call this meeting to order. May I first request a motion to adopt today's agenda? The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor of adopting today's agenda, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The motion carries, and today's agenda is now adopted. I want to welcome to the chamber Representative Danita Yangatmai, who is the author of the bill that is on our agenda for today. And with that, I'd like to move to our next order of business, which is public comments. And Representative Yangatmai, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. Lesralim, good morning. My name is Danita Kaipat Yangtamai. I'm a representative of Precinct 3. Please for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of some concerned citizens who are in support of House Local Bill 22-19, of which I authored on their behest. This bill, if and when it becomes a law, will mandate dog owners to scoop up after their pets after they've emptied the contents of their stomachs. We all know that one of the reasons the pet dogs want to go for walks is mostly to empty their stomachs. And yes, dogs won't be comfy until they've done their business. Some people may laugh at this bill, but if they step back and observe the many dog owners that walk their dogs just to poop on the walkway, along the beautiful Saipan Lagoon, at the parks, on the roads, etc., they will see the many squishy, gooey, and smelly poops that are not only disgusting but very unsanitary as well. Envision yourself or your children happily enjoying an afternoon family walk only to be ruined by stepping onto a poop or two. Envision yourself or your children happily swimming at a Sunday picnic at the beach, swallowing the fecal, coliform, and tapeworm infested ocean water that came from the runoffs. Envision the many bacteria, parasites, and viruses that penetrate through your skin and enter into your bloodstream or your children's, making you and your family sick. Please also remember the tourists who are slowly making a comeback. Tourists are the main driver of our economy, and we would want them to return to their homeland with great stories about their stay on Saipan and taking pictures of the sunset and ocean on the west side of the island without any issues with stepping on dog poops. Let's not wait for these negative things to happen. Let's be more responsible. Let's be proactive. Let's keep our people healthy and the tourists happy and returning. Thank you, Feliso.
Thank you so much, Rep. Yangtamai, for your comments. Are there any others who would like to make comments on this bill for today? Seeing none, let's move on to our next order of business. Rep. Yangtamai, I'd like to invite you to stay with us while we review the bill. There are some amendments that I wanted to put on the floor today for the committee's consideration, and would love and appreciate your feedback. So, colleagues, this bill is before us today is House Local Bill 2219. We did receive comments from the mayor's office, as well as the Department of Lands and Natural Resources and the Bureau of Environmental and Coastal Quality. Milia, are those all of the comments that were received on this bill? Okay, thank you. And I'd like to open up the floor now for members of the committee who may have questions or comments at this time on the bill or on any of the letters we received. Testifying mostly in support. Actually, there were some amendments or suggestions for amendments which we can discuss further. Yes, Senator Edith.
Thank you, Chair. Um, I like the intent of the bill, and we know that growing up in the islands, we definitely deal with a lot of these issues in the community. Thankful that the stray dog program is in place under the mayor's office. But one thing is not being addressed in the legislation that I think we could insert through an amendment. We want to talk about environmental protections. And to date, we know that our landfill, we're having issues as well. And I feel that the bill should also perhaps um, insert what kind of material is to be used to collect the dog poop by the owners. So I did some research, and obviously there's a lot of bags that could be used, but one report states that it takes about 10 to 1,000 years for a dog poop bag to decompose, and that's a concern. But the research also shows that there is an alternative, and taking a few sheets of newspaper, which is biodegradable and disintegrates much, much faster than any other material. And additionally, I know that we are concerned about removing plastics in our community and becoming much more environmentally friendly and responsible throughout the world regarding plastics. So I think it's important that we might as well address it in this current legislation if we are to move forward to protect our landfill, our water, and to it's actually much more affordable for owners, to pick up after themselves with their dogs as they walk around in the parks. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment, Senator Edith. I I am aware that there are already alternatives like biodegradable and compostable bags for the disposal of dog solid waste that I have seen actually in stores. So they are available. They have been available in stores even here on this island, and can also be ordered online. And so I think that there is also pending legislation that would restrict the use of plastic bags generally in stores. And so I think that concern about having just alternatives would make sense. If I may, I wanted to just quickly review some of the amendments that I wanted to propose for today. Based on the comments that we received. And Rep. Yanktimai, I do want to thank you for bringing this legislation forward. Um, as you said in your comments, it might be something that a lot of people in this community don't yet take seriously, but dog solid waste is actually classified as a pollutant. It's considered a biohazard even by the Environmental Protection Agency, and it is a way that viruses and parasites can be transmitted to people and to other pets. And then it, of course, also impairs water quality. And when you have dog solid waste all over the place with all the people, everybody's pets just going unattended and pet owners not cleaning up after them, that really does add up to a community-wide problem and a nuisance. So thank you for that. Council, if we could just I start from the top of this bill and I could just summarize the proposed amendments. So starting with the findings, going down a little, actually on page 2. Just wanted to move some of the sentences around in the second paragraph. So everyone must do their part. That part will go down to the bottom of the findings. And the second paragraph would read, the Environmental Protection Agency considers dog waste a pollutant of water bodies, and it is most often introduced into receiving waters by way of stormwater runoff. And then the next sentence would read, dog waste left on the ground, it increases exposure to bacteria, viruses, and parasites. And then the next sentence, so moving that sentence up to read, some of these bacteria, viruses, and parasites are fecal coliform, salmonella, hookworms, roundworms, and tapeworms, and Toxoplasma gondii. And then the last sentence for that paragraph would read, those particularly at risk are other pets and children who play outside. And then the last paragraph for findings, therefore, as everyone must do their part to keep a clean environment, so should dog owners be responsible for their pets' solid waste disposal. And then in the operative language, section 3702, we wanted to clarify in subsection A to that there would be authorization to adopt rules and regulations for the regulation, control, and licensing of dogs, and for the proper and sanitary disposal of dog solid waste on the Northern Islands and the island of Saipan. And then the next sentence would also include language. At a minimum, said rules and regulations shall provide for licensing of all dogs, licensing fees, storage and handling fees for any dogs picked up by the municipality, minimum holding period before disposal, disposal of unclaimed dogs, and then we're inserting this language, and requirements for the disposal of dog solid waste by dog owners and keepers. And then subsection 1 would pretty much remain the same, except that we would include a subsection 2, basically. Violations of this subsection shall be a civil infraction, punishable by a fine of not less than $25 and not more than $50 for each violation. So this is to give some teeth and also provide some clarity as to who is responsible for the enforcement, for the rules, and then also for the enforcement, which follows in the next section. And then we're inserting a new subsection 3, any owner or keeper who requires the use of a disability assistance dog shall be exempt from the provisions of this section while such dog is being used for that purpose. And we looked at model legislation that regulating dog waste in other communities, and there were exemptions for people who use disability assistance dogs, particularly for the seeing impaired. And then in subsection B on enforcement, and this is just following on the comments that we received from the agencies that it needs to be clear who is responsible for enforcement. So the municipalities of Saipan and the Northern Islands are further authorized to administer and enforce rules and regulations adopted pursuant to subsection A of this section, including any rules relating to the capture of stray dogs, charging of any fees, disposal of unclaimed dogs, and then we're inserting disposal of dog solid waste, and citations and imposition of monetary fines for violations. And those are the amendments that I wanted to put forth. Obviously, the details of how this would actually be implemented and enforced, and how this program would be carried out in the municipalities, that will be up to them to provide in the rules and regulations. So those are the amendments, and let's open up for discussion. If there are any comments, Senator Edith or Representative Yangtumai. Okay. May I offer a motion then to adopt this as a substitute bill of the committee? The motion has been made and seconded, and all in favor say aye. All opposed, say nay. I also vote aye. Motion carries. Okay, so this committee substitute is now adopted. This is House Local Bill 2219, Committee Substitute 1. Any further comments or questions on this bill? Okay. May I please request our legislative assistant, Ms. Claire Sablon, work with Council Joe Tyron to prepare the committee report, and then we will adopt it as a committee and bring that to the SNILD at the next session. Okay, moving on. Are there any announcements?
You want to vote on the whole motion, passing it as committee substitute?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay, my apologies. Council has just clarified that we should also adopt vote to pass the bill out of committee. So I'd like to offer a motion to adopt House Local Bill 2219, Committee Substitute 1, and approve it for passage, recommend it for passage to the full SNILD at the next session. Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. Okay, so this bill is hereby adopted and will be recommended for passage. Okay, moving on to our next order of business. Are there any announcements? There being none, anything for miscellaneous? There being none, okay, may I request a motion to adjourn? Motion has been made to adjourn, and I second the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. This meeting is hereby adjourned, and it is now 10:25 a.m. Thank you very much, Senator. Thank you, colleagues, and thank you, Representative Yankton.
Thank you, Chair.
For your
Thank you,
assistance.
committee members. Thank you,
Yes.
Council. Thank you, Ms. Claire.